Hi, I'm Sarah and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my family and how we're coping during lockdown. I'm married with two adopted daughters. I have an 11-year-old who's happy spending most of her time in her bedroom on her phone to her friends. I have an 8-year-old who has all the characteristics of PDA, that's pathological demand avoidance. It's an anxiety-driven condition, and it means that if she's expected to do something, often she can't do it. Also, her behaviour is quite controlling because if she can control her environment, then she feels less anxious. Some things are really tricky during lockdown. I like a little bit of quiet time each day, and that's impossible when everybody's in the house. Exercise is tricky. Our girls are usually really active, but they don't want to do anything at the moment. We had really nice ideas about going for family walks, but that's not working at the moment. Talking to other members of the family is really difficult because my daughter's controlling and she doesn't like it. So me and my husband start talking to each other and never finish what we're going to say. And also it's quite hard for my oldest daughter because I feel like I never have a proper conversation with her. Usually we go out shopping now and again to spend some time with each other, but at the moment we can't do that. Getting anything done is really tricky. Even though usually my younger daughter can occupy herself, at the moment she can't do anything without me doing it with her. If I try and get on with the job, she wants to help, and because she's controlling, we have to do it her way, which means that everything takes much longer and is much more complicated. The same goes for schoolwork. She doesn't like to write things down at all, so I have to write things down and she has to be the teacher. Again, it's her way of being in control. So she teaches it to me, and when I know the answer, I can write it down. So I do most of the schoolwork like this, which again is really complicated and takes much longer than it needs to. Some things have been good during lockdown. My daughter finds it a big demand to get dressed in the morning for a time, but at the moment we don't have to. So she'll do anything to get out of getting dressed. She'll pretend to be a dog, she'll sing, she'll run off, she'll go and do something else. But now she's even getting dressed herself sometimes because she doesn't have to do it for a time. And it's such a break for us, it's lovely. The other thing is we made a really good decision to only sit together at the table as a family at weekends like we usually do. My daughter finds it quite demanding to sit at the table with us, and it can often lead to her getting upset and aggressive, and so when she needs to, she goes off somewhere else to eat. We've kept to weekends and there's only been one day where she's had to go somewhere else. So that's really nice that she's eating with us every weekend. With the school and work, I thought that she wouldn't do anything because she doesn't like writing anything down. But she has done some learning activities, and I've given her worksheets and ideas and all sorts of things, and she can just choose what she does. So because she's in control, she has actually done some learning. We have had some family time. When you've got an 11-year-old who's got no tolerance for anyone else and you've got another child who's controlling, family time's difficult. But they have made some TikTok videos together. They did a bit of baking together and they played in the garden. And all that together, and all these things might only be 10 minutes, but it's really good for us for that to happen. And the last thing is, at the moment we're using all sorts of different technology, and when you have an 11-year-old, they already know it all and show you how to use it. So if you can ignore all the eye rolling and all the tutting, then they can really help you out. So that's all about me. Thank you for listening.